Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is From Harvey with Love, and I'm your host, Harvey World Drizzy from the illustrious Harvey, Illinois. And we got one for the fellas today. Today's video, we're going to get into three books I feel like everybody should read, but more specifically the fellas. These books are not in any way gender exclusive or anything like that. And that's why I'm saying this for anybody. And then also I have a reaction. We're going to get into defining this high value man thing. We're going to do it the Harvey World Drizzy way. I get it. Kevin Samuels got his own way, but we're going to get into building our own quality, high value men. But before we get into all of that, I know y'all see the drip. Y'all got to go get y'all one of these Be Powerful t-shirts. I'm going to have the link to purchase your own in the description below. They are from the illustrious Harvey, Illinois. For real, it don't get no Harvey than this. These is from my brother. Brought to you by Leroyce Hawkins. You guys might know him. He's more commonly known as Officer Atwater from Chicago PD. They go put his social media up on the screen. I know y'all recognize that brother. So he bring these very powerful t-shirts, and it's a real reason why I decided to wear this t-shirt specifically today. And that's because this guy right here, he might not know it, but he started this shit right here. This From Harvey with Love, because I'm from Harvey and everything I do is with love. But it's also now about innovation in oneself, building yourself up, building yourself 2.0, Drizzy 2.0, whoever you are 2.0. On that road, number one thing you're going to have to do is read. And that's going to go tie directly into what we got going on today. And so, like, this is my brother here. Blood couldn't make us know any closer. Support the hood development that is the Be Powerful movement. Now we're gonna move right on. So for the books, I'm not gonna string it out. I'm just gonna get the books to you. I'm gonna give them to you. There they are. Now these three books I feel like are paramount on my journey to becoming a better man. There's no real order you should read these in. The order I read them in was I read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie first. I followed that up with The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then Atomic Habit. How to Win Friends and Influence People is exactly what it says, but it's not what you might think. He gets into it. It's a long read. I'm not going to sit here and stunt and try to tell you that it's the most interesting through and through. Treat it like the Bible. Things that you must know, you must adhere to in order to get your point across, to be able to influence people, which is going to be paramount in any financial, any career endeavor, anything, even relationships between your wives, best friends. You can learn something from that book. The seven Habits of Highly Effective People, 7 great habits. And then that follow, and I would follow that one up with The Atomic Habit by James Clear, and that's because the Atomic Habit gets into how to build those habits. More importantly, I feel like we try to bite off too much at one time. When you're trying to change, it's hard to go cold turkey, to say the least. You know, so it's easier if you bite off a little piece. Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It doesn't matter what it is. You just got to chip away. And the book really gets into incremental changes, compound change over time that'll turn you into the person that you want to be. And so I would start with these 3 books. There are many other books, and we're going to get into those too, depending on where you want to go in life, financially, whether you want to go in your career, relationship goals. There are always books. Somebody wrote a book already. I'm telling you, no matter what it is you're trying to do, somebody has wrote a book already on exactly how to get that done. You just got to go out there. You got to find that book. A lot of times it's I don't care who it is. It's your favorite artist, your favorite designer. They've already tried to give the game away. They selling the game because the book costs. Another issue I'm going to hear from a lot of people is they don't got the attention span. I got ADHD myself. I cannot sit still and read a book. So how did I read these 3 books? Audiobooks. So you got to go back and forth to work, most people. And in that commute, you probably do what? Listen to music, maybe the news. Put a book on. I guarantee you it'll change your life. I went from reading no books, like 0 books a year, like literally goose egg, to at least 50 books the first year, 100 books the second year. I'm going to try to do 150 books this year. And so, and that's just driving back and forth to work. You got to go there anyway. So my commute is about 35 minutes, 35 minutes going, 35 minutes coming back. I get at least an hour reading in every day, every single day. And that's just that hour, it compounds, and over time, you're going to get to where you need to be. So I would start off, like, catch up. I would start off with these 3 books. These 3 books are paramount. I'm going to actually have a link to a video a guy did. I forget his name. It's an old video, like 7 years old, but it's on YouTube. It's for the 7 habits. It's going to, he gives like a little brief, a rundown on exactly what to expect from the book, but I would just go ahead and grab that one and read it. These 3 books, I promise you, they might not be the most interesting to start off with, but if you can implement, you can apply the knowledge from these books, you're going to be light years ahead of the game. I promise you, if you can apply them. Now, they're not easy. Nothing is easy about this stuff. And I wouldn't even read the books just one time. Like, I would read them over and over again, maybe come back to them, revisit them when you feel like it's a part in there that you need a refresher on. But these 3 books right here will get you to the next level for sure. Will help anyway, because you still gotta. You ain't gonna read the book and become rich. You're not. None of these are the manifest bullshit. It's get up and do the work. Like this is the answer. This is how you get it done. Just get up and do the work. All right, and so now we're gonna get into this video. So this video here is by my boy Alan over at We Need to Talk. I'll have a link to his page here and a link in the description below as well when I drop the video. I'm a fan of this guy, I can admire the way he holds his interviews. He's usually the guy behind the camera. For this particular video, he's going to be the guy on the camera. And so he's going to be interviewed by someone else, by a woman. He usually interviews women, and now it's a woman interviewing him. And I'm going to just play the video. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and or we might pause the video or whatever and give our little take on what's going on. So here we go.
Listen, it's the message right here. Black boy, tell me how you really feel, cause I just want to build with you. Black girl, tell me how you really feel. I want to keep it real with you. I want to live better, eat better. I want to love better, sleep better. Yeah, I want to feel so aligned.
All right, let's talk about relationships.
Yeah. Black girl, tell me how you really feel. I just want to keep it real with you.
Okay. Why won't men allow a woman to help them build or grow?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I like that question. That's a really good question. I think the best analogy that I've heard that explains this a little bit, because it's a problem that a lot of women find, especially Black women. They're like, he said he wasn't ready. He has to go do something or whatever. He's got to go get himself together. And I've said that too. This isn't just speaking for other people. Like, I've been that nigga as well. I'm still that nigga currently. So Miles Monroe, some people may know him, some people may not, but he was a famous preacher back in the day. And I think he's from the Bahamas. He died in a plane crash, so he's no longer alive. But some of his sermons involved relationships and men and women dynamics and shit like that. And this particular sermon I thought was interesting. He said that the best lesson about relationships is found in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis, when God created the world and created man. He said that when God created Adam, the first man, right? The first thing he showed Adam was himself. He said, I am God. Some people interpret that as a man's first priority should be God, right? And I think depending on your religious affiliation, that could, that's debatable. But the very second thing he showed Adam was the garden. The very second thing Adam saw when he, got life breathed into him.
And that's important. I feel like right there was a good place to stop it, because even if you're not religious, you can understand the sentiment that a man, his number one goal in life is his purpose. It's always better for a man to have a purpose in life, even before building a family, right? Or even if maybe that purpose in life is taking care of that family or doing for that family, but you need to have something greater than you. When I first started real estate, one of my first brokers I worked for was Keller Williams, right? And they got this book on the millionaire real estate agent, and in there he says the first thing he says that you need a big why, and by that he means why you do this. The reason you do this got to be bigger than you. It has to be. It has to be, because it's easy to fail ourselves. Like with a pet, if your pet dog or your cat got sick and you took him to the vet and they told you to give it this medicine, you give it that medicine every single day. You wouldn't miss, because you love your dog, you love your cat, you love your lizard, whatever the fuck it is. You wouldn't miss. The doctor will tell you what to do for yourself to save your own life. And a lot of times people they find issue with that. I don't feel like eating it. It's nasty. The medicine's disgusting. It makes my stomach hurt. It's all these excuses for why you won't. But those same excuses didn't suffice for that dog. But it'll suffice for you. If your why is big, you'll stay on track. Why did his motivation for taking the dog to the veterinarian was to get the dog to feel better. And so that's a big why. You need a big why to be able to push yourself forward. And until you can fulfill your purpose or get close to your purpose, you're not going to be ready to court a woman in the way that she typically wants to be courted. Like, even if you love her, love is not enough if your why is too small, because you without a why, you without a purpose as a man, you have no way to measure yourself, no way to measure where you are in life, or if you are prepared at all anyway. And if you don't know yourself and you don't know how you feel about yourself, there is no way to love another person. I mean, you can definitely have love for another person, but you have to be satisfied in here in order to be able to give them that real love, that pure love that they're going to actually need in order to get into those later stages in the relationship and in life. Or with anything, if it's not even just a relationship, if it's just about yourself, you got to understand that as a man, you got to get out there and get it. Doesn't matter. When your wife is mad at you, you got to get out there and get it. When your girl is mad at you, you got to get out there and get it. When you don't feel like getting out there, you got to get out there and get it. So you got to have a purpose. Your purpose, and it can't be chasing females. You always hear the cliche that you will always lose money chasing women, but you will never lose money. You will never lose women chasing money. It's some truth to that. I'm going to let him get back into it.
Was the Garden of Eden, and he told Adam to tend to this garden and all the creatures in the garden. So the first thing God gave Adam after life was purpose, was work. And Miles Monroe's point was a man's number one priority, or he's a preacher, so his number one priority should be God, but his number two priority should be purpose. And his point was, the reason why some of our dynamics are messed up is because some men prioritize women before purpose. And they're looking for a wife before they have a way to take care of her. In contrast, when God created Eve from Adam's rib, according to this story, the first thing he showed Eve was Adam. And also the reason why Eve ate the apple.
That's another one. So I know a lot of the females, they're not gonna like that part of it anyway, because they feel like that goes back to the patriarchy and all the things that are bad with the world that set women back, all of this da 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 da, right? But let's be for real. Let's look at it logically. Let's take all of the feels out of it. If a man is chasing purpose, he's chasing his purpose will take care of him. His purpose will take care of his family. His purpose will take care of most of his problems. That's what he's going for. So a man can be that same thing for a woman. I'm not saying that a woman should make a man her purpose and that she should da da da, because you can't say that. But let's be for real. If she did, like, the right man is going to protect her forever. He's going to finance her forever. He's going to provide forever. He's going to love her forever. The right man, she won't have to worry about anything. If she got the right man, she won't have to worry. If she picked him right the first time, or she picked him right second or third time, whatever it is. Once she finds that man, life, if she found the right guy, life is so much more easier. With the right guy, she's free now to go explore her options in life as far as what she wants to do, where she wants to be. Maybe she wants to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe she doesn't. It's all about being equally yoked, is what the Bible say. But I believe even if you aren't religious, you should be equally yoked. Maybe not in, obviously, religion, but in purpose or what you want, the goals you want. I feel like women choose men the same way men choose women, and that's the issue. A man, we visual, so a lot of times you wonder why we just gonna choose. A lot of the good men, they choose a pretty girl or a beautiful girl or young or whatever it is. And so women decide to choose men that same way. That's where the 3-6 Mafia come from. That's where 6 feet, 6 foot, 6 inches come from. Well, 6 feet, 6 figures, and 6 inches come from. We call them the 3-6 Mafia over here. So them 3-6 Mafia guys that everybody want, it's gonna be hard to win them over. But women don't want to compete. But that's my take on it. I believe, in my experience, my own anecdotal evidence, women, they don't want to compete, but we let them go. I'm just gonna let them finish up with the video. Let's go. Get back into it.
Is because God tasked Adam with teaching her the word. According to the Bible, Eve didn't get the word from God. The word was coming from God to Adam to Eve. Now, again, depending on your religious affiliation, you could disagree or debate that, but I think the number one thing a man needs to focus on is purpose. And I suspect men inherently know this. Because
they do.
Before a man, quote unquote, has his shit together, he's not willing, most of the time, he's not willing to settle, right? Because we also know, this is where it gets controversial, that the caliber of woman that we can attract is equal to where we are in life. So it's like, let me run this shit
especially
up, let me run up
financially,
this check to maximize the caliber of woman I can attract.
Facts are just facts.
And that's the real reason. That's the real reason.
Facts are just facts.
So if you could give a black boy aged 5 to 13 any advice, 3 pieces of advice, what would it be?
It's interesting. I have a little brother. He's 17 now. And between the ages of 5 and 13, I was trying to give him a bunch of advice. A bunch of, if I knew then what I know now advice. And the nigga, he wasn't trying to listen.
Nobody's trying to hear that shit.
What's interesting is now that he's 17, he's now like, damn, dude, you were right. You were trying to put me on game. You were right about women or society or whatever. The first thing I would say is that being a nerd is a good thing. Being a nerd is lucrative. Nerds win in the long run. And what I mean by that is,
And that is a fact. My little brother was the nerd in school, probably the nerd. But it's safe to say now that I'm 35 years old that the nerds now run the world. All of the shit that when they was reading the comic books and all of that shit, none of that shit was cool back then. They was playing the video games, but now look, now everything Marvel, anything Marvel is selling out is over with as soon as it come out. The only people who could push that type of stuff forward was the nerds. Elon Musk had to be a nerd. Think of an absolute nerd, but these are the guys who run the world. These nerds and they pockets of friends who actually create. They the producers of the world today. They have the imagination to innovate, to push things forward, to push the limits and boundaries of things that everybody who was worried about being cool, it's just not the same. They took the time to put into the basics, and then the basics went into the extracurricular. Extracurricular is nerd things. Those nerd things allow them to be way more effective human beings and adults in society now, because it was the hard stuff to us, or I say to us because I was one of the I don't want to say one of the cool kids, but I was a jock. I was a track and football. I was 2-3 sport athlete, so the struggle wasn't the same, let's say that. And so with that though, I didn't focus on the things. I focused on what I thought was cool. I wasn't gonna get caught on the speech team. My brother was on the speech and these debate teams, and now he's a better speaker and debater. He was on the mathletes and all of these things that nobody had time for. But where did he go? He went to Stanford after high school on a full ride scholarship from Bill Gates. He has some of the most powerful friends in Silicon Valley, and that's all. He's the lead engineer for one of these startups up there. But the point is, he was able to move at the age of 34. At the age of 34, he's lived a full life. Let's say that. Let's just say that. Let's say for all my little guys out there for that they call you a nerd, being a nerd is absolutely fine. It's gonna be preferred. Trust me, we need the nerds because the cool people don't push shit forward. They are largely entertainers and consumers. We got enough of those.
I think boys tend to have short attention spans. But also what's interesting about boys as they differ from girls, so girls can multitask better than boys, that's a fact. But what boys can do is hyper-focus on something for a very long time. It could be something stupid, but boys have the ability to hyper-focus on what. You'll see boys play one video game for 8 hours nonstop. Boys have the ability to hyper-focus. And that could be a weakness, but it's also a strength if used properly, especially if you're hyper-focusing on the right thing. So nerds win in the long run. So that thing that you care a lot about, focus on it, get good at it, define what it means to you and what it can mean to the world. You said 3 pieces of advice. The second piece of advice is don't worry about girls. Don't worry about girls. Because I remember doing a lot of shit in hindsight just to make myself look cool with girls. And
that shit never makes you look cool either. It's a waste of time.
In hindsight, I don't know if it was necessarily, and this is what's interesting about boys, right? I don't know if it was necessarily to get girls or to convince my friends that I get girls.
And make no mistake, women fall into this same trap. When they say they didn't get that BBL for you fellas, they telling the truth. They did not get that shit for you. They get it for other females. to look better, to compete with other females. Everything to them is more competition with other females than anything that you. And once you realize that, you'll get out your own way. Get out your own way. Especially as a black guy, we understand. Black women don't even give us compliments. Let's keep it a bean. A compliment, you're handsome, from a black woman sounds more like, I bet you get all the hoes, huh? Basically, what that is I'm not trying to compete with you, nigga. I'm not in the business of competing right now. I don't feel like competing right now. There ain't nobody trying to work hard to be on top of you, to be on the top of your list of all of these hoes that you got. That's going to just continuously get younger and younger and younger, it seems. Nobody wants that type of competition. So because she don't want that type of competition, that's basically what she's telling you as soon as she says that. So everything they do, and then it's a catch-22, because she also needs a dude that she could bring around those girls, those same females. Now, she can't bring no dud around them. That's not what she's into. She can't be the it girl and bring some dusty ass nigga along. That's why Pookie and Ray Ray and them get picked so much, because Pookie and Ray Ray be looking real good on the gram. Some niggas be looking real good on the gram. Trust me.
Does that make sense? Because at the end of the day, what I was looking for was male approval, especially as a boy. And girls were just
Especially
a
as a
path
boy.
to male approval. So yeah, because at the end of the day, like you the quality of girls that you'll be able to get improves tenfold when you bring value to the world.
It pays to bring value, baby. In more ways than money, obviously.
Pay attention. I think
I'm going to add to pay attention. Think critically. Think solution-based. You going to naturally, in your life, you're going to come into these issues. They're going to be issues, obstacles. They're going to be problems. They're going to be heartbreaks. There's going to be a lot of things naturally that none of us can escape. People in your life is going to die. People in your life is going to trade on you, lie on you, turn their back on you, everything, man. It's how you deal with that. As sad as it sounds, nobody cares work harder. It's how you deal with that. And the way you deal with it is a solution. A solution is, why did this happen to me? Be objective now, because sometimes it's your fault. How did this happen to me? How do I make sure this don't happen to me again? Certain things, you say, for instance, a car accident, the answer to I got into a car accident, how do I not let it happen to me again, shouldn't necessarily be never drive again. I mean, unless obviously there's a reason why you should never drive again. That may not be the answer. Maybe you need to drive more carefully, all these other things, because driving is something that you have to do. Well, I'm guessing you don't have to, but one of the things that you're going to want to do. So it's just try to come up with a solution for whatever this issue is. It's real easy to point out the issue, to cry about the issue, to even talk about it, and to talk about it and to get it off your chest to somebody, to complain about that shit. It feels good too. It does. But after you pour it out, now you got to ask the question, what do I do from here? How do I make it better? And it got to be something that you can do. It's always something you can do. Most of the time, I mean, health issues and things like that aside, there's usually something you can do. More often than not, there's something that you can do about it.
Boys and men can be very narrow-minded / closed-minded. And they're more concerned about what they can teach the world as opposed to what the world can teach them. But if we would...
In the 7 habits, one of the habits is seek first to understand and then to be understood. It's a very important rule, very important law to live by.
Pay more attention to how things work. And when I say how things work, I'm talking about mechanically. I'm talking about the psychology of people. I'm talking about industry. I'm talking about economy. I'm talking about like be plugged in. You know, white people like to say to have your finger on the pulse. You know, and it could be anything because you'll see like little 13-year-old boys. They could tell you every stat about LeBron James. Stats LeBron James himself doesn't even know. So that gift is there. Now, if we can direct that to something more
more useful.
Positive isn't the right word. More beneficial to the boy in his future, that would be better. Because unfortunately, the reality of the situation is right now, boys aren't doing well in school. You know, we already know male suicide rate is higher than females. We already know that men are falling behind academically, economically, especially black men. So yeah, those would be my 3 pieces.
What would you say are some insecurities?
We'll go ahead and stop the video right there. Y'all can go finish the video, watch the rest of it. It's not too much left on this part of the video, but it's a larger video, overall video that goes to this. Go to his page, get into the content. It's real good stuff. I learn something or find something from each and every one of his videos, mainly because of the way that he holds the conversations. He's not combative. This won't be the Kevin Samuels type of vibe that you usually give, even though he's obviously, you can see he got Kevin Samuels in his in the actual description of the video, but it's a very different approach to, I believe, the same thing Kevin is trying to do. But when you get combative with the women, you're gonna get combative back, and when women start arguing like women, you get nowhere. I mean, you can be logically winning the argument, but you're still losing because the purpose is for understanding, and there can be no understanding when she didn't already shut off. So like leading with questions like, what do you bring to the table? It's never going to be the type of thing that gets you where you want. We were sure to say that ain't going to get you that ass. You telling that girl that she need to bring more to the table, or asking her what she brings to the table, it ain't going to get you that ass. What we going to do here is we're going to try to come up with solutions, be solution based. Today, the solution was to read more. Read more. It's actually pretty much that simple. When it comes to being a high value man or a valuable man, period, you're going to you should start with reading, and it should end with application. It's that simple. Anything that you want to do, I'm almost positive, unless it's something totally innovative, it's something brand new. Somebody already done it and they wrote a book about it. I'm almost positive. So your best bet will be find that book, read that book, and research and development, R&D, rip off and duplicate. But that's what I got for you guys this time. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. You read any of those books? Comment down below. You have any books you feel like is more important than those books? I could be wrong. Let me know. Put those in the link down below. Any comments? If this shit was trash, put that in the comments down below. Whatever it is, tell me how I'm looking, man. This is my first one. This is me biting off something I learned in a book. They said start before you're ready. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but here I go. Until next time, man.